All right, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David. Chodesh Tov, everyone. Wow, it's a wonderful, beautiful sunny day here in Eretz Yisrael. Good Chodesh. And again, we learn for the well-being of our Chayalim and our Chatufim, our soldiers and our captives, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should have mercy on them and give them siyata d'shmaya to take care of what they have to take care of and not listen to all the nonsense of the world. Okay. So we're in middle of learning Likutey Halachos Hilchos Birchas Hashachar. We're in Halacha Hey. We're in the middle of Samach Zayin. So we're in Halacha 5 and we're in the middle of 67. All right. So we're up to this. We were talking about this beautiful idea about tzedakah. That tzedakah is something that you can really align your will with Hashem's will. And via doing that, it can keep you always protected. And we said we need Hashem's protection every day because the Yetzer Hara is so strong. And if Hashem didn't protect us, and how do you reinforce the protection? You give tzedakah. Now let's discuss tzedakah a little bit. All right, so here we go. The Rebbe says today, "V'zeu tzedakah tiroimim goy v'chesed l'umim chatas." Okay, so tzedakah, it elevates Jewish people, but it's a sin. when the nations of the world give tzedakah, it's a sin. Interesting, right? It's a sin. What? Chatas. What's a chatas?
Yeah.
Right. That's what the
humanitarian aid. Humanitarian aid.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't give us what tzedakah is the Yidden.
Right, so this is Ayin Shem. You can see, if you want to know about more of this, you can see this is it's a statement from Chazal in Baba Basra on Daf Yud Amid Beis. Okay, okay. Now Umasku Sham Hachiluk Ben Yisrael Levein Oivdei Kichav, and the Gemara is discussing the difference between a Jew giving tzedakah and a Gentile giving tzedakah. Yisrael Eina Mahar V'Nacha Hashem Yisbarach V'Atzadik. Kishein nismale mevukosham takef. When it comes to the Jewish people, we understand that, like Eli said yesterday, there's delayed gratification. That was wonderful, right? We have delayed gratification. In other words, we understand that sometimes we're going to go to the tzaddik and we're going to ask for the pidyon, we're going to give the tzedakah, but we're not going to necessarily see the results right away. And we're not going to say, well, I don't know, Hashem, I gave the tzedakah, why aren't you doing your part? I did my part, do your part. We don't understand the workings that's going on upstairs, and we don't ask questions. We just believe that it's a mitzvah of tzedakah, and we give the tzedakah. All right? Okay. So the tzedakah elevates us, right? Elevates us to that high place of the Metzach Ha'elya, right? The Metzach, right? The Rava, that beautiful place. It takes us to the place of pidyon, right? It can really elevate us, the tzedakah, when we give them money in that way, right? Aval chesed le'umim chatas, but the chesed that the goyim do, that's a sin. Like David said, the humanitarian aid. There you go, it's a perfect example. Give them humanitarian aid. Yeah. They should bring Biden up on charges. He crushed some of the Palestinian guys who's doing genocide, right? He dropped his thing. Here's a perfect example, and he crushed some people, right? I know we should start a thing where he has to be brought up on genocide charges.
Some of the stuff that they dropped landed in Israel.
Huh?
Some of the stuff that they dropped landed in Israel.
Yeah, and?
No, but I'm saying there's things, whoever wants free, flour, sugar, oil, whatever, go to this place. There's all this stuff lying on the beach there.
That's fine. Okay, but no, you understand. It's look. Aval chesed le'umim chatas. When the goyim do things, they do it. It's not represented correctly. V'chol chesed legameyu avdinan. They're doing it for their own sake. They want to say, oh, see, we gave humanitarian aid. The other ones didn't do that. See, you didn't do that. See, Israel, you're no good because you didn't give the humanitarian aid, but we're giving them humanitarian aid, right? They do it for their own pride. They do it for themselves. Ki einam mechavnin ritzoinam loemes. They're not mechavin their rotzon, right? Look at this. Ritzoinam loemes. They're not trying to do, they're not looking for the truth. They're looking what looks good, what people want to see. Right? They want to make a, right? You understand? They're just trying to glorify themselves. They're trying to glorify themselves. They're not looking for the truth. What's the truth? Right? Does anyone have any questions on this? So therefore, they're not ma'orer. They don't awaken through that tzedakah this the shefa of chesed. Because we said, where do we get the shefa of chesed? When we have Yiras Hashem, right? Yiras Hashem is the vessel for the chesed, right? But the guy doesn't have Yiras Hashem, right? The guy doesn't have, so he doesn't have a vessel. He doesn't have the vessel to collect anything from his getting anyhow, because he has no Yiras Hashem, right? And not only that, they have remorse when they give their money and they don't see the result for what they wanted right away. They have remorse. Why did I give the money? I wasted my money. Right? You understand? They give their money and they don't see the result right away. So we understand that there's delayed gratification. We understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is taking care of things behind the scenes for us. We understand that. But the guy doesn't know that. He doesn't believe that. So the guy doesn't understand. He doesn't have anything. The tzedakah doesn't help him at all. Aval Yisrael hakesherim mechavnim b'tzidkosam l'rotzain Hashem Yisbarach. When we give our money for tzedakah, we give our money l'rotzon. See the words we're using? The rotzon. We're giving it to the rotzon, the will of God. The rotzon Hashem Yisbarach, the will of Hashem. And therefore the tzedakah can elevate us. Again, the place of ratzon, that place of pidyon, that place where we get where all the salvation comes from. All right. Through, if it comes from that, if it's drawn to the haras haratzon, to the light of Ratzon, to the illumination of Ratzon, Hashem's will. So then the tzedakah is going to bring to it'll be a true chesed, and therefore we are always benefiting when we give our tzedakah in that way. When we give our tzedakah in that way, that we are giving it knowing that Hashem wants us to give the tzedakah, and that's why we're giving the tzedakah, because we're doing Hashem's will, we connect to Hashem's will. He's telling us the inner workings of how the tzedakah really works. Now we give tzedakah, but now you understand. When I'm giving the tzedakah, I should think, I'm giving this tzedakah because Hashem wants me to give this tzedakah. Right? I connect to the ha'aras haratzon. Let me connect. Let's benefit by it, right? Right? Let's benefit by it. You're giving the money anyhow. So now connect it to the ha'aras haratzon and see the benefit. See something beautiful, make something click, create some new energy. Create some beautiful spiritual energy in the world by you doing what you're doing anyhow. Right? If you want to give more, of course. But whatever you're giving for charity, when you give it in that way that you know you're connecting to Aras Haratzah. And then it becomes a true chesed. Oh, there's still two of you crackers left. Two of them left. Avalum chatas. But when it comes to the nations of the world, it's a chatas. Me'ach Hashem roitzim davka sheyismale mibukosham tamin. They want instant gratification. Instant. It has to be now. Right? The guy I want to see the benefit of it right now. If I don't see what I get now, they have remorse that they gave the money. Is that amazing? See the difference between us and there's many, but he's defining the difference between why the Gemara says when the Goyim give charity, it's a sin. Why is it a sin? Because they are looking for the instant gratification. If not, they have remorse that they gave the money. Oh, look at this.
Fish for us, please.
Wow. Va'afilu im nismale hu lefi shah. Kihem tichilosam shalva. Aval hatzadikim v'chol Yisrael hanilven aleim. But when it comes to the cloud, when it comes to us, and we follow the words and the advice of the tzadikim, techilosam yisurim kitzas v'soifim shalva. See, we have sometimes in the beginning we have a little pain, right? But in the end, we'll have nice tranquility in the end. In other words, sometimes it's hard to begin, right? Kolas, cautious, right? It's hard when you start something, when you give something, right? But then at the end, it'll work out. It'll work out very nice. Where it comes to the goyim, right? The whole thing is isurim, but by us, v'soifim shalva ki achvis leish sholem, right? In the end, the yid that gave his tzedakah will see the benefits. It'll work out nice for him in the end. He may not see it right away. The same way, like we said, when you go to the tzaddik, you give the tzaddik the money for a pidyon, right? You give the money, you want to get a pidyon, you need help for something, right? So you give him money. So you may not see it right away. But always know that Hashem is still directing those. The Yeshua that's needed, that salvation that's needed, Hashem is directing it in the place that's needed to be done. All right? And we said in the end, if you wait and you're patient, you'll see what you ask for to come to fruition as well. All right? Alkin nismach pasuk b'tzedakah tekoinani lepasuk v'chol b'nayich lemudei Hashem v'rav shalom b'nayich. Right, the beautiful psukim here. These psukim from Yeshaya, right? The choineneni, right? In the pasuk of v'chol b'nayich lemudei Hashem v'rav shalom b'nayich. What does that mean? Ki kol zeh zoichen ayidei tzedakah. If you want to be called HaKadosh Baruch Hu's children, if you want to be considered the children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, look at that. V'chol b'nayich lemudei Hashem. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem teaches them. The Rav Shalom b'nayich. In other words, right? You like that? Isn't that beautiful words? In other words, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will see the shalom, will see everything come to fruition. Will wait. HaKadosh Baruch Hu teaches us through the words of the tzaddikim. He teaches us how to understand that in the end, in the seifan, everything will work out nice. And all this you get through tzedakah. V'ayim b'Yeshaya kapitel nun dalet sham kesuvim sukim hanal shekev ketzev histarti ponai rega mimech v'chesed oilam rachmaticha, right? Ad tzedakah tekoinenenu. So what does he mean here? V'sham nemar v'samti kadavar shemasayich meramez al tikar nifla nimshach hayidei pidyon. All the wonderful things that come about, this is teaching, all the wonderful things that come about through tikkun. Everything that comes about through when we give the pidyon. Shemamti kol ha'esrim va'arba batei dinim, we can make a sweetening, right? We can make a sweetening in all of and there was mitigation. That's what it means, right? You have judgment, right? So you want to mitigate. We can mitigate the judgments through us giving the tzedakah. Kamuva b'kisvei Arizal v'oven heited l'kasha inyan. Understand this. Me'es mem tes ad kan einay mesuda heited v'yesh devarim shenichlefu ki loy nichtav keseder rak roshei prokim. So Rav Nosson, they added this in over here. A lot of these things that Rav Nosson put in over here were not part of the original, his original text, but it was, he had notes. He had his notes, and it got, so to say, put in there. Okay. So that's what we learned. That's what we're learning here, this beautiful idea of tzedakah, where we learned today the difference between when a Jew gives tzedakah. Right, in the end, it'll be a benefit to the Jew. Why? Because he connects to the Aras Haratzon, where the guy gives it tzedakah, where in the end it's going to come out to be a chatas. Why? It'll be a sin for him. Why? Because he gives the money, he wants his gratification right away, instant gratification. He gives the money. If not, why did I give the money? I wasted my money. Right? They don't understand it's a mitzvah to give tzedakah. They don't have the mitzvah. It's not a mitzvah by them. They're just doing it because it's out of the goodness of their heart. So if they see it worked out good, so then it's good. But if it doesn't work out right away, and we know things in life don't always work out right away, right? So therefore, that's what the Gemara in Baba Basra says on Daf Yud Amid Beis. It brings a statement that for the goyim it's a chatas, but for us it can help us bring us to the Rotz and Elyon, to the Pidyon, and okay. So that's it. Any questions on that idea?
This is saying that all of our tzedakah always works out. We may not see it, but it's always.
But right. But here's the point: when you give the tzedakah, no, then I'm doing it the Ratzon Hashem. I'm trying to connect to the Ratzon Hashem. I'm doing this because this is a mitzvah of tzedakah.
Yeah, you're doing it with.
You got a secular Jew that gives $50 million to Harvard University.
That's not charity. That's not charity.
I mean, that's just like a goy then, right?
Well, he didn't. What did he do? He squandered $50 million. He would have been better if he take it to the toilet, flush it down, they give it to them.
Go to the casino at least.
Right? Or go, maybe have some fun, right? That's not a chata. That's a sin. That's a sin.
He considers that that he's doing something good, but you see that now the whole thing with Harvard and all the universities, how much what they did affected their income.
Amazing.
It's
cost them so much money.
No, but Qatar will give them much more money. They know that. Yeah, they'll send them plenty more money. They know.
Qatar,
Yeah, they have their. It's all a business by them. Huh?
That's their.
It's to the highest bidder. It's all to the highest bidder, right? Okay.
They put in all their little mouthpiece.
No, but a beautiful way to understand this thing about tzedakah is like this. Look, you go. You let's say you bought a nice sandwich, right? And you have a nice soda sandwich, whatever, and you're sitting on the park on a bench, nice, and you want to sit down and eat your sandwich, right? And you see there's a guy sits down next to you. He's tattered clothes. He has nothing, and the guy's looking at you. Right? He's looking at you, right? You have that nice juicy sandwich, right? And the guy's looking at you. So now I want to enjoy my sandwich, so I'll buy him a sandwich. Right? I'll buy him a sandwich so that way I can eat my sandwich in peace, right? The guy's sitting looking at you, right? So would that be considered a chesed?
It'd be better if he gave him the sandwich and bought himself another one.
Okay, either way. He can eat in peace, right? So notice, is he giving the money? Is he giving the money because he wants to eat in peace, like Shalom said?
He wants to buy the guy off.
He wants to buy the guy off, right? All right. So, but again, you can still do that in a way. And you can say, look, but again, here's the thing. So you can say, hello, Hashem. This guy has no money. He has no sandwich. He has nothing to eat. And look, it's your Ratzon Hashem that I give him money. So in other words, I'll switch it, not because I want to necessarily eat in peace, you understand? Which I may want to anyway, okay? Listen, we're human beings, right? We may want to anyway. But I can still try to do it and connect to the Ratzon Hashem. This is the mitzvah of tzedakah. Right? This is the mitzvah of tzedakah. So that's just in the night. Listen, with all mitzvahs, right? When it comes to something not kosher, right? The other day they were discussing. I don't remember what it was. They were discussing something with shrimps or something. I don't know. They were discussing something, and they go, "Oh, it must be terrible. It's awful." Oh. So I said to them, "Okay, I don't know why you say it must be awful. There are many people that say it's very good." But I don't eat it because the Torah says I don't eat that stuff.
Right.
Now, don't do it. Don't do things. That's really what we're learning. Don't do things because it feels that way. I'm doing it because it's the Ratzon Hashem. Hashem says don't eat it. You understand? That's okay. Right? It comes to.
Once asked a simple Yidden, they said, "Listen, if it didn't say in the Torah you're not allowed to eat the pork, would you eat it?" He said, "No, it's treif."
It's trade. That's the point, right? It's so inherent that I wouldn't eat it. No, but really, it must be very good. Look how the haraya. Look, there's billions of people that eat it, right? It must be very good.
It is very good.
But the Torah says don't eat it. The Torah says don't eat it, and that's why we do things. We want to always connect to the Ratzon Hashem. What's that?
What's wrong?
Someone left their phone here.
Oh, no, it's probably my phone. My phone's over there.
It's your phone. Okay. All right, so let's go on to Samaches. Okay, good. Okay, guys, we can. Okay. So now let's go on now and talk about someone that was Kaifer Berotzen, right? The Rotzen Hashem, right? The will of Hashem. So who did we have this with? We had this thing here. V'zeh bechinas machloikis Korah. Remember Korah? V'adosai, right? Korah. He was a pretty good guy, but then he went sour. Right? He was a pretty good guy. Ki Korah kofa berotzen. Kamei shamra b'sein azal. Korah min haya. The Gemara in Yerushalmi in Sanhedrin says that Korah was a min. He was a heretic. Could you believe that? Korah was a heretic, a min. Because originally they were great people. Listen, he was a Navi. Korah knew, he saw the future. He saw things. We're going to see in a second here. Watch it. Because he was one of the guys. He was on the list of people that carried the Aron. Right? That was the Aron, the Ark. The Holy Ark that had the Torah, the Luchas Shnias, and right, everything was, and he was the one carrying it. And they were called the Chashuv. These were the very Chashuv people of the Jewish people. But they were part of the older group, the Zekanim, the elders that don't have shleimus. What does that mean, have shleimus? That they're not adding Kedusha every day to their day. You understand? They're not adding, we said that we have the Zekanim, the Kedusha, are people that every day they find Hashem in the day, in whatever is going on in their life, in everything that transpires, they find Hashem. They add Kedusha into their day. They add holiness into their day. But these people, they were not she'ein bahem shleimus. They was a kid that didn't have shleimus. V'lo dai lahem bazeh. It wasn't enough that they didn't add ki im his gaber aleim hayetzahara v'hesisam lechalek al Moshe shenichlo tameh b'rotzen elyon. Not only did they not add to the kedusha, but they went against the Ratzon Hashem. They went against the Ratzon Hashem. The Yetzer Hara got them so good. You see what happens if you don't try to add kedusha every day? Even a great people like this, the Torah says the Kruya Eda. These were great people. The Torah said these were great people. But if you don't add Kedusha every day to your day, the Yetzer Hara can knock a person, even a great person, down. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Kiyim is gabe aleim ha'yetzer hara v'esisam l'chalek al Moshe shenichlo tamid be'rotzen elyon. Okay. V'cheinu b'chol dor shenimtzom zekenim v'chashuvim shecholkem al tzaddik hagodol nehem shu chiddush nifla. It's a chiddush nifla. You have zekenim that they'll argue and they'll go against the tzaddikim. Even today, we have it. Right? We had plenty of them, right? We had plenty of people. You had the Lubavitcher Rebbe was a great person, right? No one's going to argue that the Lubavitcher, but you had people that were very much against him, very, very much against him. And but you see, he did such good things. Look around the world today. Look at all
Rabbi
these.
Nachman had terrible opposition.
Rabbi Nachman had terrible opposition, but now his teachings are going out through the world today. Yeah. Unbelievable. You read the book Through Fire and Water. You read that book?
Yeah.
Oh, we're very good. And that's the one. Was Reb Nas? Yeah. Baruch Hashem. Yem shehu chidesh nifla. V'akol bebechinas machma shehem bechinas zekenim hapegumim. These are zekenim that made a pegam. These are zekenim that made blemishes. They were blemished. Again, when you don't add kedusha each day, look where it can go. You have to try to always find Hashem every day. And that's why the Rebbe says it's so important every day to have your Isbaidah, to speak to Hashem, right? Speak to Hashem every day. Because if you do that every day, you have your fortification. You're connecting to Hashem. You're adding Kedusha to your day by speaking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? Al pi shehem kisherim v'tzadikim aval al yedei shelo yasifu kedusha b'chol yom. They were great people, but they felt that they reached their plateau. They reached the plateau. They're great. I don't have to do anything anymore. You understand? That's a very dangerous thing. A person thinks he reaches plateau. I'm good. I can put it on cruise control now. Everything is good. Look what happened to Korah. That's what they did. Al yedei zeh min nefilas yameim. Wow. And they fell down. Yoinik metzach hanochash ad metzach hanochash ba'atzmai mizgora bahem umapila miyaisa. Until the metzach hanochash. We said on the side of holiness you have the metzach ha'elyon and the upper metzach and the lower metzach. And on the other side, you have the Metzach HaNachash, which is the higher one, and you have the lower one also. But the Metzach HaNachash on the other side attacked them. Mamish attacked them so much so. So you see how important it is to add all the time, add a little Kedusha, add Hashem to your day every day, add something special to your day, something different each day, and try to find Hashem in your life a little bit different each time. Kichein derech habaldova who meses who achemesisam. Right, the baldova the Yetzer Hara comes and seduces a person into a way until he can really get them so much so. L'chalik alat tzadik hamachadesh atzmai b'chol esu meisif or kedusha b'chol yom. The tzaddik is always adding kedusha. He's working on adding Kedusha every single day. And he's working on adding, and is adding to his connection to Hashem. That's what a Zokin is. Zeh kona chachma. A Zokin is someone that is Zeh kona chachma. You see what it means? You see, right? Isn't that beautiful? Zeh kona chachma. That's what a Zokin is. Someone that gets, what's the chachma? Getting close to Hashem. Reish is chachma, yiras Hashem. Right? Reish is chachma. You want to be a chacham, have yiras Hashem. We learn the benefits of it. You have yiras Hashem, then you have the vessel to accept the chesed. Look what he goes on now. He says, "V'zeh bechinas chet hameraglim." Oh, then you had the meraglim. What happened with them? Right? These were also great people. Right? These were the people that were these were the Nesiim. These were the Nesiim of the Shvatim. Right? The Meraglim weren't stam people. These were great people.
They made a wrong turn.
Right? Now, okay, so now look at this. So now, therefore, V'alkein nismach zeh lazeh parshas challah. The parsha of challah, the Torah speaks about challah in between these stories of Korah and the Meraglim, these stories. We have the thing of challah. Why? Now he's going to say, Bechinas tzedakah. Challah is tzedakah, right? You know what challah is, right? When you break your dough, Reb Shalom, you want to explain to everyone what challah is? You bake challah all the time? Yeah. You do afrashas challah, right?
Well, usually you don't make enough to do afrashat challah. If you have more than a certain amount of...
it's about 5 pounds of flour.
Yeah. So I think
2 kilos.
Yeah, it's about a little over 2 kilos.
In New York, they say it's 5 pounds.
Yeah, a little over 2 kilos of flour. And you have to make a bracha after you make the dough and take off a little bit. And today we burn it because we don't give it to the Kohen because it's tameh. But that's the mitzvah of challah.
Right, it's because it's hegdish. So therefore, you have to burn it. You can't give it to the Kohen. Right? You can't give it to the Kohen. The Kohen we used to give 2% to. The Levi got 10%. You know that?
What's interesting about challah is that even if a Kohen makes challah, he has to be mafresh challah.
Yeah. And he has to give, because the Kohen gives tzedakah too. We said that even the aniyim, they have to give tzedakah also. Right? So the Kohen will be mafresh the challah as well, and he will give it to another Kohen.
Does the 2% come after the 10%?
No.
No. The both. It's all from the whole.
Yeah. Okay, now, but look what he says now. Bechina tzedakah ala tzedakah. Challah is tzedakah ala tzedakah. We learned the concept of doing tshuva al tshuva, right? You do tshuva on the tshuva, right? Remember we learned that concept, right? You learn something that I was making a mistake on something, and I say I'm sorry to Hashem. I'm sorry. I do tshuva, right? But then you learn a little bit more, and you recognize how bad that Avera really was, and then you say, and that's the way I apologize to you, Hashem. So I do tshuva on my tshuva. You understand the concept, Yaniv?
Okay.
Let me explain it to you like this, Yaniv. Okay, let's say a person's working in a big company. Right? He's working in a big company. I'll try to give you an example, muscle for the nimshal. And there's a big boss in the company, right? He works in this company, right? But he never saw the boss, right? He's in the elevator, right? And he holds his coffee, and he spilled the coffee on the guy's suit. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. He doesn't know the guy, right? And then he finds out later that's his boss. He finds out later that's his boss. So he goes over and he's really apologetic. Boss, I didn't know it was you. I'm so sorry. Because I'm sorry, you know. I'm giving you a silly story. I'm giving you a silly example. But when you don't realize who Hashem is, we don't know. As you learn who Hashem is, and you get closer to Hashem, you realize, what was I doing? What was I doing? And you do tshuva on the tshuva. So here we're learning the concept, you give tzedakah on your tzedakah, right? Because again, you gave, let's say the person gave his truma, he gave his meiser, right? He gave the 2% to the kohen. He gave the meiser, he gave the 10% to the Levi, he did that. Now he makes challah. So now he has to take a challah, that's on his net, right? You have gross, he took the money he gave was on his gross income, right? Right? That was his gross income. And he gave the tzedakah, right? Now he has his net money in his pocket. He paid the tax, right? He has his net money. Now he makes challah. He has to take off more and give tzedakah on the tzedakah. You understand? Because that's net. That's his money. That's his money. Right? Now if he wants to bake bread, and he wants to make bread, he's making a large amount of bread that qualifies to take off the challah. Now he has to do tzedakah on the tzedakah. You understand?
Would that be, for example, if you sell your company for $1 million,
Yeah.
you're earning 5% on that by putting it in the market, right? So 5% of $1 million is $50,000. The market goes down to $800,000. You're still, that tzedakah on that 5% that you earn is kind of like the tzedakah on the tzedakah. So you're still earning 5%, every month on the $1 million. Now your $1 million has gone down now to 800. The market went down to 200.
Okay.
You're still earning.
But you sold it? You sold it?
You sold it.
So if you sold it, so it doesn't matter. So then I got my $1 million. What do you mean?
You gave your 10% from the million.
What do I care what happens to the company after I sold it?
You gave them 10% on your million, so you give $100,000, right, on $1 million.
Right.
Okay.
Done that. Yeah,
Okay.
done.
Now the 900,000 goes into a money manager.
Yes.
Okay, that money manager is going to give you 5% of your money on your 900,000.
Okay.
Market goes down, right?
My money goes down. I invested my money, and my investment went down
Your
now.
investment now.
Oh, I
went
thought
down,
you meant the business
and
went
then-
down. Okay.
And then, so that 5% that you're still earning on the interest of the money that's gone down, you're giving tzedakah again.
But
Yeah.
you're earning the 5% on the 800
And
now.
the 800 or the 700 or the 600,
Right,
whatever,
right,
you're
right.
still giving tzedakah.
I'm making money. I give money on whatever I earn. Am I still making money?
You're making money on the interest.
I lost.
Yeah.
The interest is new money. The interest
It's
is
new
new
money, so
money.
it's not.
The
tzedakah
interest
on
is new money.
Okay.
That's
It's not tzedakah on tzedakah.
no. That's new money. No, here you gave. No, you're talking about your investment, whatever it is. Here we're talking about you sold products or whatever it is. You made money. You gave your tzedakah. You gave the money to the kohen. You gave your money. You gave your truma. You did what you had to do. Now you want to bake challah, so now you're gonna have to take off another section, another piece of the challah, and give more. So it's tzedakah on the tzedakah. You
It's
understand?
more than the 10%.
It's more than 10% and the 2% because it's new. If you didn't bake challah, you wouldn't have to do that.
Right.
Right, but
Yeah.
there's a tax for making challah.
There's a tax, right.
Okay.
Well, you can look at it exactly. You can look at it that it's a
I
tzedakah.
mean, it is a tzedakah, but it's another payment
Yes,
you're required to make.
Like in New York, you pay federal income tax, and you have to pay New York state income tax.
And New York City income tax.
And then you have the net amount.
Oh yeah,
You go to
these
the
people
store, you
are
have to
crazy.
pay
Yeah.
sales tax.
Yeah. I mean, for years I was telling people, I lived in Long Island, right? And everyone, these other guys lived in the city. So they said I paid too much property tax on, Nassau County. The property tax was higher, right? I said, well, but guys, you don't understand. You're paying 8% tax in New York City.
8% there? Yeah,
8% tax. They pay
The
8%.
income tax is 8%?
New York City income tax is 8%.
Wow.
So I was paying, let's say $10,000 income property tax, but I wasn't paying 8%.
On the income, on your,
Penny wise, pound foolish.
yeah.
Literally.
Well, where I lived, the city was like 1.5%. People complained about it.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Let them not go to the northeast. The northeast, they're crazy. Oh, wow. Okay. Baruch Hashem, I don't have to deal with that anymore. Anyway, Parashas. Parashas Chal. Okay, Bechinat Tzedakah, Bechalui, Bechinat Tzedakah la Tzedakah. Ki nitna ba'achroina acha. Look what he says. Acha trumo ma'aser. You're giving that money after you gave your truma and ma'aser. You understand what Lesser writes here? You're giving it after. Then after on you had your net money. Now you give more money on top of that. There we go. Kidei lechazek harotzen levatel hasveikas. In order to always be mechazek, we want to always be mechazek the rotzen. We want to connect ourselves to Hashem to ward off the suffix. Right? We said, what's the greatest tool that the Yetzer Hara does to us? He puts suffix into our minds, right? Yeah. I don't know. You gave the money for tzedakah, and you don't see a benefit from it. So maybe you shouldn't have given the money, right? That's the stuff. But if we keep giving money for tzedakah, so we feel good and we feel connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's what it's all about, to ward off the suffix.
I had to explain this to my kids because they asked. I gave them some money, and they said, "Did you pay? Did you take off your miser on it?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "Well, it's already been done." I said, "No, now you have to take it off on yours."
Because now you earn this money.
Because it's nothing to do with me anymore. This is just yours now. It was a very hard concept for them to get.
No. Well, they were probably understood. Like if you take off, if you buy, you have fruits from Eretz Yisrael, right? Yeah. So if you take off so then once it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
I can get right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That once it's done, it's done. But here the money is different.
Right.
Because that's new. That's Inca. Okay. All right. Anyway. Okay. V'alkein challah lashon tefillah, and therefore challah is a lashon of tefillah, prayer. Did you know that? Achala Pnei Hashem, right? In other words, we talked about that, right? I'll pray to Hashem, praying. Chala is a lashon of praying. Ki ikra tefillah hu al yedei rotzen. Because when I daven, the main tefillah is rotzen. I want to get vanis tefilasi l'cha Hashem eis rotzen. Remember, we learned that, right? We say that on Shabbos by Mincha. Vanis tefilasi, my tefillah, ani, I'm tefillah. What is that? Eis rotzen. Then it's a eis rotzen. Okay. Hayidei rotzen. Bechinas vanis filotzet l'chashem eis rotzen. Okay, we understand that, right? Tefillah challah is a lashon of tefillah. Is connecting me to the rotzen. I give my tzedakah because again the Yetzer Hara always wants to put suffix in my mind. How do I ward that? How do I ward off the suffix? I give more tzedakah, I connect myself more to the ratzon. And therefore it's a lashon of tefillah. Al kain ta'a Korah. And therefore Korah, he made a mistake. V'samach atzmai ala esem v'arba mishmois levia shera me'rechoik sheyatzu mimenu. Korah, you see sometimes when you see things ahead, it can be to your detriment. It's not necessarily a good thing. Right? It's not necessarily a good thing. Korah was looking, he said, wow, look, from me is going to come 24 groups of Kahanim. Wow, Levium, 24 groups of Levium. Wow, this is pretty good. He said, I must be a pretty good guy if I got this. Aval tov ma'od, but he made a big mistake. K'may sham Rabbi Seinu Zal. Ki esem va'arba mishmaros, those 24 groups of Levium that he was talking about, heim kineged esem va'arba batei dinim. They go against the 24 courthouses. Like we learned about the idea, and we say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, right? So we learned that the Hashem Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? So we said Yud Kei Vav, right? If you take out one hey, because there is a hey, so you can make 12 permutations from Hashem's name, right? We said that, right? And you say it Hashem twice in Shema Yisrael, right? So that's the 12 hours of the day, 12 hours of the night, 24 hours, right? 24 hours is connected to 24 courts, right? His 24 mishmaros were against the 24 courts as well. They asked from Baba, Shehem Srichin Hamtoka Gedoyla Aidei Bechinas Pidyon. They need a big, you need a pigeon. You have these 24 courthouses, and you need a pigeon. You need to get how do you want to translate pigeon here? You want to get your redemption. You want to be redeemed. You want to be exonerated. You want to be exonerated, maybe, okay? Through Moshe Rabbeinu, the Rotzen Elyon. So what was Korah doing? He looked ahead, and he said, wow, 24 groups of Levium are coming from me. They're going to take care of the things in the Mishkan, in the Beis Hamikdash. He saw this. So he said, wow, this must be great. They're going to be the singers, right? The Levium were the ones that were playing the musical instruments. They were the one that was singing. Well, it was pretty good. But he didn't understand that the 24 is connected to 24 courts. He didn't understand that. And he didn't understand that he needed the hamtaka. He needed a pigeon to do that. Where was the pigeon? It was held with Moshe Rabbeinu. He could have helped him. So what does he do? He goes against Moshe. And that's how he fell. He goes against Moshe. He goes against Moshe was who he needed to help him, because Moshe Rabbeinu is connected to the Metzach Arotza. He's connected to the higher place. Balkein kol esrim va'arba mishmores levia kol hamtakosam v'tikunam hu al yedei ve'esrim va'arba mishmores kahuna. Look at this. The 24 courts of the Levia, which is din, Levi's din, is fixed with the Kahanim, the 24 and 24. Right? There are 24 mishmaros of Kahanim, 24 mishmaros of Leviim. The 24 mishmaros of the Kahanim is the pigeon for each of one of the 24 courts. The Kahanim are the let's say the attorneys. Right? They are the attorneys that know the judges in the courts, and they can get you the pigeon for each thing. But again, who is he fighting against? He's fighting against Moshe and Aaron. He needed Moshe because Moshe Rabbeinu is connected to the pigeon Elyon. Aaron is Kahuna. Right? Aaron also had 24. So he thought he's as great as Aaron. But he didn't realize he needs Aaron in order to fix the din, that he's connected to the din. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He needs a good lawyer, and he turned against the only law firm there was.
He needed Moshe and Aaron more than he knew. He had no idea. But again, because he wasn't working on adding kedusha every day, he was blinded from seeing the truth. You understand? He was blinded from seeing that, even though it was so blatant, so listen. He saw about his mishmaros. He saw the future, so he should have seen this too. But again, because he wasn't adding kedusha each day, and he thought he reached his plateau, he reached where he has to be. This is how the Yetzer Hara can really get to somebody, where he shows you half the picture. You want to say something, David?
No.
Do we understand this concept? It's an amazing concept. Yeah. Really, what went wrong, to understand what went wrong with Korah? Yeah. Really, he saw 24. Oh, 24, that means it's great. This is great. But he didn't know he's the 24. They placed him into the 24 courthouses. He's got handcuffs in every one of those. He's handcuffed in every single one of those. He needs a Aaron to get him out. He needs Moshe Rabbeinu to be the pidyon Elyon to get him out.
He didn't think he needed it.
He didn't think he thought he was so great. He thought he could do it himself. He could represent himself. Ay, Nebuch. Ki ze yadua shalevi bechinas dinim. Look what it says. It's known that Levi is din. Leviim are connected to din. The Kohen bechinas chesed. And Kohen, the Zohar says, is chesed. Right? So you need the chesed in order to be mamtik the din. Okay? To sweeten the judgment. Vafilu kol etzem v'ava mishmois kahuna. And even the 24 groups of Kahanim, Tzrichin lekabel ikar, I'm talking about Bechinas Moshe. They need, even the Kahanim need Moshe Rabbeinu. They're good with their pidyon. They're okay. They're chesed. But they need still Moshe Rabbeinu. They need the higher pidyon. They need to know that they need to work with the chief justice. Bechinas Rotzen. Ki rak Moshe himshich ba'olam kedushas hakahuna leviyah. It was Moshe Rabbeinu that brought into the world the whole idea of the kahuna and the Levi. It was Moshe Rabbeinu. Ki yakara hi mipninim. Because Moshe Rabbeinu, the Torah, is much more precious than even pearls. Something so special. Gadol shenichnas lefnai v'nefnim. Hainu shatzadik emes bechinas Moshe. Yoka afilu me'akoyin gadol. The Kohen Gadol went l'fnai nefnim. What was that? On Yom Kippur, the Kohen Gadol went into the Kodesh Kodashim, right? He went into the Holy of Holies. But Moshe Rabbeinu was even holier than that. Moshe Rabbeinu was greater than the Kohen Gadol, than Aharon, that went into the Holy of Holies. He was greater than him because the Torah is greater than even is great. Ki mimenu kol kedushasam v'kol amtokos. Okay, you got that. So Moshe Rabbeinu is really higher than everyone. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu is Rabban Shal Yisrael, right? Moshe Rabbeinu is the true Rebbe of Klal Yisrael, right? Everyone will agree to that, right? Moshe Rabbeinu is the true Rebbe of Klal Yisrael. The Korah pegam b'chol zeh. Korah made a pegam in all of this. V'cholak al Moshe v'samach atzmai ala etzem v'arba mishmois leviyah ba'atzmam. Moshe Rabbeinu, he said, hey, he doesn't have 24 groups. I have 24 groups. I'm greater than Moshe. What does Moshe have? He looked at Moshe Rabbeinu's children, right? He didn't see anything coming from his children. Look at my children. Wow, look at me. I have 24. I'm greater than him. And that's how he attacked him. That's where the powerful judgment comes from. If you're not going to fix the din that comes from the side of Levi, the Sitra Achra comes, he's connected to those 24 courthouses, and he's going to attack. So it was really, if Korah would have been smart, he would have recognized, if Korah would have been smart and added Kedusha to his day every day, and he would have spoken to Hashem, and he would have recognized what his plan is in the world, and he would have understood that Hashem was the one that put Moshe Rabbeinu there. If he would have known that Moshe Rabbeinu spent 7 days arguing with Hashem, he didn't want the job. Right? Moshe Rabbeinu by the burning bush, right? By the snare. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't even want the job. But Hashem says, no, you're the man, you're taking the job. I need you to take this job. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't want the job. But Korah, you see again, and that's how it is. You don't want it, then you're the one. You want something so like you see with our leaders today, right? Nebuch. Okay. Korah took what he do. The Targum says that he made an argument. He made a macha. He made a against, right? Sherotza lechalek ve'esrim v'arba botei dina v'bechinas ve'esrim v'arba mishmois leviyah miMoshe shehu rotzain ha'elyon u'me'aharon ha'koyin. that Moshe Rabbeinu is higher. So yeah, he saw 24, but he didn't recognize that the 24 were connected to the courts. He didn't recognize that he needed he needed Aharon and he needed Moshe. He didn't understand that. V'zeh vayikach Korah ben Yitzhar ben Kahos ben Levi. V'loi niska leben Yaakov ki Yaakov bikei shal zeh. When it says the lineage of Korah, the Torah lists the lineage, it stops by Levi. It stops by Levi. It doesn't include, the Torah doesn't include Yaakov Avinu. It should have said Levi and Levi Yaakov, right? Ben Yaakov, right? There's Ben Yaakov, right? Keep it going. But it stops it there. Ki Korah pogam me'oid v'hitil pegam berotzain ad she pogam bekedushas avoisav shayu tzadikim gedolim v'shimshichu oros harotzain midor lidor. He made a pagam all the way back. He was going back to all the generations. And we do everything dor lidor, right? Everything is in generations. We have everything that follows the generations, and we connect back, always connect back. But he made a pagam going back. U pagam bikulam v'rotza listar al deyaisehem hatoivais v'amitais ad shehigia hapagam gam shepagam gam lelevi. He went all the way back to Levi. Aval abal davar rotza liz gorois sheyivkam chas v'sholem gam b'kedushas Yaakov. But the Yitzhar, he wanted, the Sitracha wanted that he should also make a begam in Yaakov Avinu. Shehu kolol mikol ashneim also shvatim mikol ashivim nefashos. Yaakov Avinu was the head of the 7. We had 70 people went down to Mitzrayim, right? He was the head of the 12 tribes. Of course, he was the father of the 12 tribes, right? Of the Shiftei Korah. And Yaakov Avinu was the patriarch of the 70 people that went down to Mitzrayim. Mikol hashleisha tzadikim and nechlolim berotzen b'Yosef shehu Yosef Moshe v'David. Yaakov Avinu, of course, was connected to, of course, to Yosef. That was his father, right? And Moshe and David. All right, Shekulam Yotzu Mimenu. They all came from Yaakov Avinu, right? It started with him. Ki metzach hanocha shenechas bekorach ritzoni lahatel pegam gam b'shorish harotzon. He wanted to bring the pegam all the way to the shorish harotzon. The metzach hanocha, he's on the other side. He wants to make a pegam all the way on the highest place. He wants them on the highest metzach harotzon. He wants to make the pegam over there. Yaakov Avinu, he asked Hashem for mercy on this. He should not, on this argument that's going on, don't put my name there. He begged Hashem, don't put my name there. Don't let this pagam go to the Ratzon Elya. Don't let it come to this place. Over there, Sham gas v'shalom. V'al kein tzeirev Shimon v'Levi yachad v'spalo b'soidam al tavoi b'nafshi. Look what he says here. This is amazing. Yaakov Avinu is giving the blessings. He groups Shimon and Levi together. Right. This is an amazing. What we're going to read now. This is amazing. Look at this. He groups these two together. B'soidam al tovoi nafshi. Besoidam, what's soid? Yosef Atzadik is Yesoid, right? Yosef Atzadik is Yesoid. Al tovi nafshi. Look what he says now. Maisa bezimri shehoya mishevet Shimon. Zimri was from the shevet of Shimon. Ubekaholam al tachat kevoidi. Techad kevoidi. Don't place my God. I don't want to be part of this. Don't put me part of this. Kigam Shimon, his guru, by Tekev Adinim, shall esem va'aba batei dinim hanal. Shimon also was connected to this 24 courts. Why? How many people died at that Maisa with Shimon?
It says right here 24,000.
24,000. Why 24? Again, the courts. Specifically 24. 24,000. Right? Sheyu b'nei Shimon aniyim mikable tzedakah. Shimon, yeah. They're going to be the ones that are poor. They're going to be the ones that are going to have to be mekabel tzedakah. V'chein b'nei Levi yekablu kol tzedakah shem trumas u'maisras. Right, Levi, right? Shimon became impoverished, right? And they're the poor people collecting money. Levi also doesn't have any fields, right? The Torah didn't give Levi any field, right? They didn't have anything. They were relied on tzedakah.
Right.
What?
Right.
They relied on tzedakah. Uvezer ramaz a tikkun al kol zeh shehu al yedei tzedakah. The whole tikkun is through tzedakah. Everything happens with tzedakah. Korah was a very wealthy man. We know that, right? Korah had so many different wagons. The Medrash says that he had so many how many donkeys he had just to carry the keys to all his treasure. He was a very, very wealthy person.
He was Pharaoh's treasurer. His job in Egypt was to manage the treasury for Pharaoh.
Yeah.
So he got to take what he wanted.
He had a fabulous. He was
wealthiest guy.
Fabulous wealthy, right? But again, he felt that it was all his, and he was so crafty, so clever. It's all what he had, and then he lets the Yetzer Hara attack him so much so that he didn't see that he needs Moshe, he needs Aharon. Because he's 24. Not stam that there were 24 groups of Levi. That we learn here, right? It's not stam that there were 24 groups. 24 groups connected to the 24 courthouses. He needed the 24 groups of Aharon, the Kehanim, that were chesed in order to be mamtik the din of the 24 courthouses. He needed Moshe Rabbeinu in order to make the din, to fix the din from the highest place. So what does he do? He argues with them. Why? Because he didn't add Kedusha every day. He didn't work on adding Kedusha. He felt he reached it. He's so wealthy. He's so smart. He knows so much. And he doesn't have to do anything anymore. That's the danger. That's the danger. So we should all be protected. To always speak to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Add Kedusha every day. Add a little more Kedusha every day. Try the best that you can. And always give tzedakah. When you give tzedakah, give the tzedakah that it should be for the rotzah. You want to connect to the rotzah, the oros harotzah. You want to connect to the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu when you give the tzedakah, because that's how you're going to get the best bang for your buck, and it'll help you out the best. Okay? Everyone have a wonderful day. We'll stop over here. Tomorrow we'll do Samach Tes Be'ezrat Hashem, and Chodesh Tov to everyone. Kol Tuv.
Beautiful.